Conflict is a leading cause for children not getting the education they need and deserve. Today, more than half of the world's out-of-school children live in conflict zones. This means at least 29 million young minds out of the classroom, in countries with the greatest need of educated citizens to help them find peace and rebuild. But many people leave, particularly parents, who want to find a safer, brighter future for their children. Worldwide displacement of people fleeing wars, conflict, and persecution was higher at the end of 2014 than any other time since records began. This means 16 million refugees across the globe, at least 8 million of which are children. Willingly or unwillingly, other countries must open their borders and increase their budgets for foreign populations of people who likely have different cultures, religions, and languages. And the average length of time a refugee lives in exile is over 15 years. The most difficult work is not finding shelter and food for these refugees, but making sure they can become and remain contributing, productive members of a new society. This video looks at how 3 countries are responding to refugees from different world cultures and ensuring they have access to education and a chance to thrive.
Nasser and his brother Mahmoud are among tens of thousands of Syrian refugees who have made it to Munich. Oh my God, you're here!
Yeah, I'm here. Why not?
Germany has dominated the September 2015 headlines for its open arms approach to welcoming a record number of refugees, particularly those from Syria. But statistics from 2014 show that Germany continued its legacy as the industrialized country with the most asylum claims.
We have to adapt. Now we have to get the language, the German traditions. All of what we can learn about German culture will be useful for us. Morgen, Tag.
Hello.
Salam alaikum. Steht schon?
We bump into a man Nasser had overheard talking Arabic to his children. It turns out he's a Kurdish Syrian who's lived here for 20 years. What advice does he have to give you as the new arrival in town?
أجرب برا بينا تفربة
أيوة.
صبر بينا تبرا فربة
أيوة.
عجلمك
Don't be.
تش بينا فرش يعني ألمان نوك جميع نوك كمي بملتي مي عجلة بكتي هر فرا بدوي صدورة خي بدي شو نقدر تقول هذه يك بيك
اتبع قوانين.
هذا هو هذا.
Up to 800,000 people will arrive in Germany in 2015 as refugees and asylum seekers. Language skills are an important foundation for integrating them into their new environment. The German government prioritizes helping refugees learn German through language apps, learning assistance, language programs, and language projects. And in 2015, the Federal Ministry of Education will spend up to 180 million euros on promoting literacy projects. In Berlin alone, some 5,000 children and young people are learning German in 431 welcome classes. They're officially known as the learning groups for new students with no knowledge of German. Welcome classes are found at primary schools and in various forms of secondary schools that exist within the German school system, and they cater to refugees. The average welcome class has 12 children, and they focus their efforts on learning German. The goal is that after 1 year at the most, they will have learned enough German to join an age-appropriate class. In conjunction with the German Adult Education Association, new course concepts are being created for older students, along with self-study opportunities, many of which use smartphones. An Education Chains program supports adolescents as they transition through finishing school, in finding an apprenticeship placement, and successfully completing their vocational education and training.
What do you hope you'll be doing in like a year's time, you two?
I have my own restaurant
Yeah? In Wittislingen or in Munich?
in München.
München.
I love München.
So you're gonna have like Nasser's falafel,
Syria falafel.
Syrian falafel.
With more and more refugees coming into Germany from the Middle East, more children and young people who are Muslims attend German public schools. According to the Ministry of Education, the teaching of Islam is a part of a modern integration policy. It is included in the religious education schools offer children and youth to provide them with cultural and theological guidance and teach them ethics and morality as supports in developing their own identity. The ministry's website states, Religious education encourages children and youth to reflect on and articulate their own beliefs, and it challenges them to grapple with values, both their own and the values held by others.
We'll just pray for the people there.
And Germany's your home?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Until the war is finished. My father keep telling me, my son, you don't represent Muhammad al-Nasir, you are not representing the Arab, you are representing the Islam. So be the Muslim that who do you want to meet, and that's it.
That's a big responsibility.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Dad.
I will do my best and we'll see what will happen.
Around 100,000 children in Britain are refugees or seeking asylum. Each has a different story. We listened to 9 young people who'd managed to get here and get to a school.
In England, we've got better quality of life and we've got freedom and stuff.
I heard it would be like there would be freedom and there wouldn't be any more wars, anything else, any more trouble or anything.
I'm so happy. I'm going to England.
The UK has a long tradition of working to support and integrate large groups of refugees, dating back to 1957 with the arrival of Hungarian refugees. Refugee children in Britain today are a very diverse group. The largest national group of refugee children are major populations of Somalis, but there are Sri Lankan Tamils, Turkish nationals, Zimbabweans, Iraqis, Afghans, and Iranians. At the national level, the UK has a refugee integration platform developed by the Home Office together with the Department for Children, Department for Education, the Department for Health, and the National Health Service. It's aimed at various professionals working in education settings and provides information, guidance, and examples of good practice in the integration of refugee children.
Everything was difficult, especially the language, the culture.
People and the past is different, and I say, in different language. I just say, Mom, where are we? And Mom, she told me we're in England.
I said, England is so big. He said to me, that's a London.
The country's had decades to refine an approach to refugee integration, and education throughout UK public schools is now based on the importance of minority groups and the recognition of multiculturalism as a social and political feature of British society. Teachers and education practitioners have developed considerable experience in working with refugee children and their families. They've become more aware of their experiences and needs, and the necessity for close coordination with practitioners from different services.
Like that is talking to me from the hand, like someone is doing like that. It's taking to me like that.
I try my best to figure out what they saying. I'm like, what's they saying? Basically, I understand that when someone says something to you, but they point it at or use their hand.
We might live in England, but we can't just forget our cultures and our background and stuff. So at home we still speak in Turkish.
At home we speak Dari, our first language.
I speak Swahili fluently.
3 languages I'm speaking at home.
To call home offices and housing services, DSS and those kind of places, job centres and stuff, because they can't really explain themselves and we've got to explain it them instead of them.
We talk in Somali together and we don't want to forget Somali.
We were trying to speak in English in the class, but suddenly Turkish words comes to our mouth and we start speaking Turkish again.
If I'm speaking to someone that's Portuguese, I speak Portuguese and I mix with English. And when I'm speaking to someone that's English, I mix with Portuguese.
In the UK, refugee and asylum-seeking children are covered by the provisions of the Children's Act and the Every Child Matters framework, and they're entitled to services and provisions available to all UK children. Since April 2011, all public bodies, including schools, have been bound by the public sector equality duty, which requires them to eliminate discrimination, harassment, and victimization, to advance equality of opportunity, and foster good relations. Fostering good relations includes the need to tackle prejudice and promote understanding.
Country like all different people, so then you have to learn how to live with them, how to contribute with them, how to communicate, how to cooperate with people.
All schools in the UK follow the national curriculum, which follows 3 major principles: setting suitable learning challenges, responding to pupils' diverse learning needs, and overcoming potential barriers to learning and assessment for individuals and groups of pupils. Political literacy in particular is reflected in the national curriculum, and political literacy includes the mandatory teaching of citizenship education as a core requirement. This citizenship education is the main vehicle of the UK's multicultural approach in schools with regards to the inclusion of immigrants and refugees.
My advice to the refugee kids is just to focus on studying. Ignore about the past. It's not about the past anymore, it's about the future.
I like IT. I don't mind staying 10 hours in front of the computer or something like that. I really enjoy it, so I'll definitely have a career in IT.
I want to be a police. I became a police because I really don't know why, but really there's something pulls me to it.
I want to be a primary school teacher.
Trying to be a policeman if I can.
Electrician. I love playing with electricity.
I want to be a journalist because tell the news to everyone.
Some people believe that if they learn when they grow up, they can do something for their country.
I want to be a doctor. I want to learn here, finish my education here.
Just tell the teachers, just take it a bit easy on the refugees because you don't know what's been through their heads, their mind, their life.
Pakistan is most often in the international headlines for its instability, political conflict, and religious conservatism. Not often in focus is its significant refugee population, particularly those fleeing wars and persecution in nearby Afghanistan.
Today, Pakistan hosts the largest number of refugees in the world.
Most recently, the government of Pakistan has extended all Afghan refugees proof of registration cards, issued birth certificates for over 800,000 Afghan refugee children, provided land for several refugee villages, and given refugees access to public schools and health clinics.
Samia is 10 years old.
Pen, pencil, desk. می‌کنم می‌کنی میز میازه.
من حتی زنده بودم مکتب می‌خونم.
School?
School مکتب.
Samia has been studying the Afghan curriculum here for 2 years. She is lucky. Only 20% of refugees in Pakistan are enrolled in formal education.
سامیه خوردی ما هسته اما شوق داره که همین یک چیز خوب برایه
نازل شده
Akila Asifi was honored in 2015 with the UNHCR Nansen Refugee Award for her courageous work and significant contribution to refugee girls' education. Since arriving in Kochandana refugee village in Punjab, Pakistan 23 years ago, Asifi worked tirelessly to allow the girls of this deeply conservative and impoverished Afghan refugee community to access primary and secondary education. To date, her hard work, sensitivity to cultural and religious values, and persistence have resulted in over 1,000 girls having the opportunity to attend school at both the primary and secondary level.
ما خورد توی کردیم باز دیگه مجبوری دیگه توی که ما میتونیم سامیه توی نکنه دیگه این شوق دلی هسته پدرم میگه که هر خواهشی تو دل است لیکن آدم غریب پیسه که نداشته باشه سخت گپ است
هر چی خواهش دارم
Apart from early marriage, many families of Afghan refugee girls in Pakistan prioritize the education of boys over girls.
Thanks to the amazing dedication of women like Akila Asifi, 2 generations of Afghan refugee girls have passed through school, some going on to become teachers, others to pursue further education and support their families in Pakistan, as well as upon their return to Afghanistan.